Behind me is the apple orchard. And in the fall, when you're harvesting your apples, there's a limit to how many apples you can eat, and there's a limit to how many pies you can make. So you need to find something to do with the apples so that it will be preserved throughout the winter. And making apple cider is a way to do that. And right across the way here is a big apple press, and they're making cider right now.
It's a package of straw and apples. It's about 30 bushels of apples that have been crushed up. They let them sit overnight to get soft, and so you have to contain it in something. And they would make what was referred to as a cheese. Cheese is anything solid that you press liquid out of. And in this case, it's alternating layers of straw, rye, straw or oat straw, and what was called pumice. The crushed apples are called pumice. And so alternating layers of that, the new layer of straw goes at right angles to the previous layer, and then the ends are tucked in to each other. So you end up with this really tightly wrapped package of straw and crushed apples. Then the juice is put into casks to ferment. We're making what's referred to nowadays as hard cider.
Hard cider.
Yeah, hard cider is technically a redundancy because cider by its original definition was apple wine. Let it sit with no, the bung is the wooden plug that goes into the cask. As the fermentation process is taking place, it foams.
So that would last about as long as a bottle of wine, or would you?
Yeah. Well, it would in theory. I mean, they were making about a year's supply.
Okay.
So 300 or 400 gallons, most of which got drunk as apple wine, as a table beverage. Some of the juice, this is referred to as must. This juice, very dirty. You couldn't drink it as it is, but you could boil it down into apple molasses, and some of the hard cider would then be allowed to turn into vinegar.
Oh, really? And they would be able to use that.
Food, yeah.
So they would use that also.
Right.
Were they making wine in the same manner in this area, or was?
No, the grapes that we had didn't have enough sugar, so we weren't making grape wine. We were making only cider. And the cider was really the drink of choice. Some people made beer, but there was one person who wrote in the period that commercial breweries would never make a go of it in New England because people were too devoted to cider. It was easier than making beer.